It's a special Monday edition of Todd's Odds with our sports betting analyst, Todd Fuhrman. Why are we talking to Todd on a Monday, you ask? Well, it's because Tuesday is the NHL's Frozen Frenzy. All 32 teams will be in action, including all 7 Canadian NHL teams. An all-Canadian matchup between the Leafs and Flames will kick it off. But, Todd, I want to ask you about the Pittsburgh Penguins, who, with their victory on Monday, are now 7-2-1, second in the Metro, at plus 370, Todd. Do you believe this Pittsburgh team that a lot of people thought would finish last in the league this year, do you believe they might actually make the playoffs?
I'm not sure what kind of deal they made with the Devil for their aging veterans that are still playing at this kind of high level, but it's been fun to watch, albeit through a very small sample size thus far. More importantly, though, for the Penguins, they're getting contributions not just from Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. They're getting guys further down the roster to chip in. I mean, Anthony Mantha finding a way. You get Ricard Raquel, who goes out hurt. Brian Rust is starting to play up to what they expected from him. And maybe most surprisingly, at least through the first few games of the season, the goaltending that was supposed to be one of the biggest issues coming into the year hasn't been their Achilles heel, as Artur Shilov's, along with Tristan Jarry, playing at a relatively high level. We all love a Cinderella story in sports, Jay, and it would be nothing better than if we could see number 87 and 71 playing meaningful postseason hockey in the spring. You could probably make a lot worse bets than taking the Pens at plus 370.
Yeah, I like that, Todd. How about Ivan Demidov? Came into the year as the odds-on favorite to win the Calder Trophy. Now he's got first overall pick Matthew Schaefer, who looks like the second coming of Denny Potvin, breathing down his neck. Do you see this as a 2-horse race for the rest of the season, Todd?
I think there are a couple other guys who are going to be capable of throwing their hat in the ring. Maybe Jimmy Snuggerud, if he can continue to contribute offensively in St. Louis, is a guy a little bit further down the odds board. But you mentioned the way that we've seen the prices shift. And I give Matthew Schaefer a world of credit. He's logging the most time on ice for anybody on that Islanders roster. And Jay, last I checked, when I was his age, I was lucky if I knew where I could find my wallet most nights, let alone going out there playing a men's game at a high level, contributing on both ends of the ice. My biggest concern about Schaefer with his number as they continue to shorten his price in the market is, will he be able to sustain this over the course of an 82-game regular season? Somewhere along the way, you'd have to think that Patrick Waugh decides to scale it back. But for now, it's been a fun watch, and I think maybe the right opportunity to buy low on Ivan Demidov, the guy who came in as the odds-on favorite before the season started.
Finally, Todd, I have to ask you about your boy, Jack Eichel. What a start to the season for your guy. Tied for the most points in the National Hockey League with 16. Do you believe, Todd, that this start could lead to a potential Art Ross trophy for Jack Eichel? He currently trails Connor McDavid and Nathan MacKinnon as far as the odds go.
You know, I can't believe we're not talking about Nick Schmaltz and what he's done for the Utah Mammoth, Jay. I figured he was going to be your true Cinderella story, given the offensive production we've seen. Look, I love Jack's game more than anybody, and the force that he has turned into as the leader of this Golden Knights franchise is nothing short of incredible. I mean, he doesn't take a shift off either on the offensive or defensive end, but I'm not necessarily buying into him taking home the Art Ross trophy this year. Be a phenomenal story if he's able to pull it off, but I think Jack Eichel has so many responsibilities for this Knights team that asking him to do that might be a leap of faith that I'm not willing to take. But I love what I've seen, especially with the new highly priced acquisition in Mitch Marner. That long stretch without generating a shot against Tampa over the weekend, though, notwithstanding.
Reminder, guys, Frozen Frenzy is Tuesday. All 32 NHL teams are in action, and I know Todd's excited. Todd, you're great. We'll chat with you next week at a regular time. Sorry to make you work on a Monday, pal.
Incredible.
I know. You're upset with me. Here's what, Todd will be happy about this. I know he probably has an illegal satellite dish in his Las Vegas mansion, so we can watch all 4 of these games that we have for you on TSN for the Frozen Frenzy. Starting off at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, Molson Leafs hockey, Flames and Leafs, 6:30 Central, Jets and Wild, 7:30 Eastern, Sens hockey, Ottawa, Chicago, 10:30 Eastern, Habs and the Kraken. Regional restrictions apply.